Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Cooking with Carol Diane on Easter Sunday morning. Happy Easter, everyone. So glad you're back in my kitchen. I didn't think I was going to be able to do an Easter video. I had things all lined out to do the video, and then I got a phone call and had an emergency with my older son, and pretty much everything stops when that happens. But he's okay. It could have gone south real fast, but his cardiologist said that they were pretty much lucky that they were standing there talking to him. So all things considered, he's okay today. He's home resting, and so I thought I would jump on and show you just my simple Easter dinner that I'm going to prepare today. I'm going to first start with the dessert and then work my way through each one of them to show you how simple you can put together a traditional Easter dinner. No fuss, no mess. In other words, just a few little things and you've got a nice tasty meal. So what I'm going to start with is my Easter, what's called an Easter lemon cake. This is very tasty, pretty simple. No, I'm not using a box cake mix. I do make my cakes from scratch. So let's begin. And the first thing that you will need are 2 sticks of soft butter, which I have laid out 3 because I'm going to be using the other one for my frosting. So get you a tabletop mixer. If you don't have a KitchenAid, just a regular mixer will work just fine. Put your beater blade on the mixer. And I'm going to start with the 2 sticks. Mine's nice and soft butter this morning. Gorgeous, gorgeous Sunday morning. Couldn't ask for a nicer day. Thank goodness. We've had, cold. We've had the rain. We've had rain-snow mix. We've had just about everything this month. April showers were supposed to bring May flowers. It was more like April snow showers. Is what it really was. But we're doing fine now. My daffodils in my yard already have bloomed. I took a picture of those and posted on my Facebook page because they're so, I don't know, there's just something about tulips and daffodils in the spring that makes you feel good. It really does. Okay, so that's the butter, and then you'll need 1 1/2 cups of sugar. I'll go ahead and pour that in my mixer. All of that in there. Now I'm going to stop my mixer because I have to blend this until it's nice and fluffy for a good 5 minutes. Don't skimp on blending your sugars and your butter together. They really need to get incorporated together. So I'll begin that and then I'll be right back. Okay, now that the eggs and the sugar are well mixed, because they are, now get out a bowl. And this particular recipe that I have kind of comes in 3 little stages here. So you're going to mix 3 eggs. Take 1. These are my farm fresh eggs that my granddaughter brought me. She has some chickens. I don't remember how many she told me she had. Maybe 6, I think. And I'm so excited about her moving back down where I am. That's going to be real nice because now I can see her a lot more. And that's always great for grandmas. It's always great. You're going to need a little bit of lemon juice, 1 to 2 tablespoons. Let's see here. Oh, that's lemon zest, sorry. So sorry. Kind of awake this morning. Tell you what, my nights are long here lately. And when you're worried about family members and stuff, you don't get as much sleep as what you normally do. Zest up just a little bit of the lemon, the outer part of your lemon. That's going to give it a nice flavor. It really is. That's pretty good right there. It really is. Get all the little ones in. then they want some buttermilk in this one. So 1 1/2 cups of buttermilk. Doesn't matter what brand. I usually get the off-brand because buttermilk is not cheap at the grocery store. Nothing is. Nothing is these days. So 1 1/2 cups of buttermilk. Pour that in there. Nice. Be sure and get all of the ingredients. And that. And let's see. They want a little bit of flavoring, so now we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Seems a little different, doesn't it, to put it in a separate bowl rather than right in here. But that's what this recipe calls for. And I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of just what's called lemon extract, because I want this cake to taste like lemon. And it will. And it will. Okay, now you're going to, let's see. And then they want a 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice. Sounds like an awful lot in here, but we're going to go ahead with that. You can have freshly squeezed lemon juice, or you can do like I do and just buy the lemon juice. Okay, put that in there and then lightly whisk this up. Get those eggs incorporated into that buttermilk in there. Incorporate. And then what we want to do is we are going to kind of set this bowl aside just for a few minutes, and we're going to work on the dry ingredients now. I'll grab one more whisk. Just a little one. Take out another bowl. And now you're going to need your dry ingredients, which are the 3 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour that we will add in here. All-purpose flour. And then we're going to need, I'll go ahead and dry off my teaspoon here. Okay, and then we're going to need 3 teaspoons of baking powder. 3. Put that into your dry mix. There's 1. There's 2. And there's 3 of that. And then they want a 1/4 of a teaspoon, your littlest one here, of baking soda. Quarter teaspoon of baking soda, and the same on salt, a 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. All that goes in here, and kind of whisk that around to make sure that your powders, your baking soda and your baking powder and the salt gets all mixed in to the flour. That was easy, now wasn't it? Yes, it was. That was easy. Okay, now I'll just take a little cup here because you're going to go in increments here. I'm going to start by turning back on my mixer. Kind of about slow to get it started at first. I'm going to add flour. I'll go 2 of these. And then I'll get some of the liquid. About half of it poured in there. And go back to the flour. Yep. I like to get as much as I can of that poured in there. Go back to the buttermilk. Put it all in there. Turn out my mixer a little bit more. Clean out my mess. Flour always seems to get everywhere with these KitchenAid mixers. You know, I'm really kind of tempted to buy a different mixer. I really am. I kind of have a hard time with the newer mixer because the bowl locks into place, and I don't have that much strength in my arms anymore, and it takes me a few minutes. It really does. Oh, this is looking nice. This is looking real nice. All right, now we're going to take 2 prepared cake pans, and what that means is that you would take cooking spray, spray the pan. I like to do a dusting of flour on the side of the pans, but then I put parchment paper down. I just cut it out round with the bottom of the pan. I put parchment paper in, and that makes where the cake's going to come out real nice and not stick, and it won't. It'll be all right. Mix it over here where I can get at it here. And then you just kind of get everything off your beater blade like you do any cake mix. This is a newer recipe that I have not tried this recipe. So with ones that you haven't tried, you always kind of cross your fingers. Is it going to come out? Is it going to work? Sure it will. Sure it will. And if I can make it, you can make it. Think about it that way. If Cooking with Carol Diane can make it, so can you. Okay, and so evenly on your pans, make sure you get it all on the bottom here. If you feel like one cake pan has just a little bit more than the other cake pan, always take it out. You know, take some out and put in the other one. It doesn't really matter. This one isn't going to be as fancy, which see it is. So I'm going to take just a big scoop of that and put in this one. I'm not going to make this one as fancy as I did, I think that was 2 years ago that I made my Easter cake. I had company coming, some people that have never been to my house, and I made the speckled cake and did the bird's nest on top. Oh my gosh, it was so pretty and nice. So creative, and I like to be creative every now and then. I really do. And that one was kind of fun to do. But this one's going to be cute when I get it done too. So put this in a 350 degree oven. You're going to bake this for about 25 to 30 minutes. And while this is baking in the oven, then I'll come and show you the start to my dinner. I'll be right back. All right, step 2 to my Easter dinner. Cake still in the oven, baking away. Now I'm going to do my salad because my salad needs to go in the refrigerator and cool pretty much during the day until I'm ready for it this evening. I'm not having an early dinner. I'm not having family and friends over for Easter, just my husband and I. And it's going to be a quiet Easter, but I still wanted a traditional Easter meal, so that's what I'm preparing. So what am I making right now? A simple, easy ambrosia salad, which I have shown in a video before, but it was a larger version. I'm scaling all of this down today because there's only 2 people. So the very first thing that you will need, this recipe, like I said, I'll start out with giving you the ingredients for the bigger salad. But again, I'm cutting it in half on everything. So you're going to take some, believe it or not, you're going to take some sour cream. Now it calls for a 4-ounce whole thing of sour cream, and I'm not going to put that much. So I'm gonna put probably about a third of a cup. Let's go a third of a cup because I don't want that much of the sour cream, and put all that into a bowl, just like that. Now that was simple, wasn't it? Any brand sour cream. Then you're gonna take some Cool Whip. Their recipe, this one calls for 16 ounces. One that I have is a, this is a 8 ounce. And you're gonna use, yes, okay, all of it. I'm gonna go ahead and put all of it in here. If I want some more, I'll grab some more. I just laid this out in my refrigerator because I usually freeze my Cool Whip. I have, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them in my freezer at all times. Mix that together so that it's incorporated together. Now with an ambrosia salad, you can add all kinds of different little things, you really can, but the basic one is to start with some mandarin oranges. You can get these in the little fruit cups or however you want to buy them. And you do want to drain out the juice. So I'm going to drain that out, just real simple in this. And then you just want to fold this into your bowl, but not right just this second. And you don't even have to use all of them. You know, I may just go half on that. Let me grab, oh, I'll put it right here. Put the rest of them in here and I can snack on those or whatever. Because that's quite a bit in my bowl just for 2 people. Okay, then you get you a can of pineapple. This one calls for the tidbits. You can use crushed pineapple. You can use the little chunks. You can use a fresh real pineapple. Whatever you want to put into this. Again, the juice needs to be drained out. And again, I'm not going to use all that can, just going to use about half of it. Half of it's just fine. I'll put the rest back in the can right here. Save that for later, okay? And then you're going to need the maraschino cherries. Try to get the ones that don't have the little stem on them, because if you do, and I need one more little bowl. Hang on a second. You know me. There's always something that I'm forgetting with my videos. That maybe I didn't lay out. But I do want this juice in a separate container. So we'll put the, oh, and I did get. I really thought I picked the ones that didn't have the stem. That's all right. We'll just pluck away here. Just pluck away. It's okay. Most of the time I get them with the stems on because I like to decorate either on cakes. You saw how I made my cherry cake. Oh, that thing was so good. It really was. You don't have to use the whole jar of the cherries unless you're making the full recipe. Then you certainly could. I'm only going to add a few here. Just a few. Maraschino cherries are, they're just so great. In the summertime, I like to get a, it is the, I think it's called cherry limeade, that has these cherries in it. Oh, it's so good. And then you just want to fold this in. Start kind of folding that in. And then you want to take some coconut. Now this recipe does call for, it says a can or a bag. So again, I'm going to take not even quite half the bag and sprinkle that with coconut. If you don't like coconut, you certainly can leave it out. I love coconut. I think it's great. Always buy fresh coconut. The next are some mini marshmallows. I chose the ones that are colored, you know, the pastel colored for Easter today. I really did. I chose that for Easter. Just drop in a few of those in there. And then you're going to stir all this. And I'll grab my to clean this up just a little bit. Should have brought that over while I was washing the dishes from doing my cake. My cake has 11 more minutes to go. As if I don't get it off this counter pretty fast, it starts staining the counter. It really does. It starts staining the counter. Okay. Just want to fold that all in nice to get the whipped cream all incorporated in the other ingredients that you've got. And again, because it's just the husband and I, even this bowl's too large, but now you're going to transfer it over into whatever bowl you're going to serve at your table. Put it all in there nice. And let this set in the refrigerator. Like I said, you can make this the night before. This is what's so fun about this recipe. Make it the night before. Have it set in your refrigerator overnight. And that's the beginning to the ambrosia salad. Pretty simple now, wasn't it? If you want to add the whole thing in there. So I'll go over it one more time. To make the regular recipe in a large bowl, like for a crowd or whatever you're doing, 2 cans of the pineapple chunks, tidbits, crushed, whatever you want to do, or fresh pineapple, doesn't matter. Just be sure and drain off the juice. 2 cans of the mandarin oranges, drain that juice off. 2 jars of the maraschino cherries, drain the juice. 1 can or about half the bag, or even a full if you really like coconut, of the coconut flakes. Half of the bag of the mini marshmallows. And 4-ounce little tub of your sour cream, and 16 ounces of the Cool Whip. Combine it all together, put it in your refrigerator, and let it set for a few hours. Now I go to the next meal, or the next recipe that I'm doing. I'll be right back. Okay, another little area to my dinner is I'm going to make some scalloped potatoes. Another simple little dish to make. Everybody makes everything different when you really stop to think about it on their recipes. You have your own style. Maybe it was your mother's or grandmother's recipe. They've added this or that, and that's what makes a good recipe. It really does. So for mine, of the scalloped potatoes, like I said, I've shown you this before. I take, usually I do this in a 13 by 9 pan because I'm making a lot for a lot of people. I'm not doing that again today. Just simple 2 people. So take any pan. This one's not quite as large, and yet it's going to be just fine. So I have washed the outside skins of my potatoes, but yes, I am going to peel them. I just brought over a few because I don't really know how many I'm going to need just yet. So I just take, and you can use a potato peeler to peel off the skins. I've just been cooking for, I don't know, 55, 60 years now, and about 50 years now that I've been cooking, and it just comes second nature to me to do it this way. It really does. I usually do this over my sink so that I can wash everything, but you know, just for today, I'm going to work it this way. You can use a food processor that has the little blades that slices everything real nice, or just do it yourself. Make sure that they're pretty thin, pretty thin on your slices. And this is a layering effect. Yes, you want to do thin slices all the way down your pan. Doesn't matter how they look because it's all gonna cook. It's all going to be real nice in here. You can make them as fat as you like. These are quite large potatoes, but that's okay. It's what I went with in the grocery store, and you know that experience by now. You get what you can at the grocery store. So just kind of set them all in there in your baking dish. My cakes are out of the oven, and they are now cooling. I have left the temperature at 350. I could boost it up to about 375 for this particular dish here, the scalloped potatoes, but you know, I think I'm just going to leave them at the 350. That will be just fine, because I'm in no hurry today on my dinner at all. Today's just kind of a slow day of relaxing, watching whatever you want on TV. Looks like we got a little boo-boo. Yep, we got a boo-boo in this one. So what I do is I just kind of work around my knife and take it out. I have a son that would have thrown that whole potato away just for a little blemish. See? All the brown's gone now. No biggie. No biggie, and I didn't waste that much of the potato that I can still use. Whatever you make for Easter, you know, it doesn't always happen to be a ham. This year, of course, is going to be a ham. 2 years ago. 2 years ago when I had a bunch of company is where I made the spiral ham. But my husband doesn't really care for a spiral ham, so I'm going with a hickory smoked regular bone-in ham, and I'll show you how I make mine. Anyway, I fix that spiral ham, and I usually do my spiral hams in the crock pot because it keeps the freshness, the moisture in, the ham doesn't dry out. This year I am doing the oven method, the one I grew up with, of cooking a ham, and that'll be fine. And with my ham 2 years ago when I had company, I did the lamb chops. It was a rack of the lamb, and they look like little pork chops, they really do. With the mint jam, it was very tasty, it really was. And that's when I had my fancy cake. But again, if you're just sitting down for a couple, 4 people, whatever, I will show my decorated table when I get done with cooking today. I'll show that at the end of my video. And you can see all of it on cookingwithcaroldiane.com on my website. Go under the tab that says holiday and scroll down. You'll see my tables for the last few years of how I have decorated them, and maybe it'll inspire you, you know, to do your table. Now I usually take, and I'll add some more here, but I usually take an onion. And you think, on potatoes? Yes. It just gives the scalloped potatoes a nice little flavor. It really does. You don't have to use a lot unless you like a lot of onion. But really, just chop it up bite size. If you cut your onion slices thin, then as you're cutting up, then your slices will be thin too. And you're just going to sprinkle that all into the pan. And I don't know, probably about maybe 1/4 of a cup is about all I used on that. Okay. I'll add another layer of the potatoes. And again, I may grab 1 or 2 more potatoes. We'll just see. Some people like their scalloped potato dishes very thick. Some like them real thin. Whether it's scalloped potatoes, and scalloped potatoes are different than au gratin potatoes. Au gratin potatoes is used with cheese, and that's not what I'm making. I have always liked just a nice big pan of scalloped potatoes for all kinds of dinners. It doesn't have to be just Easter. All kinds of dinners. Okay, another layer. Layer, layer, layer. Same with the ambrosia, it was kind of layered in of that. It's in the refrigerator, cooling nice. Most of the time I make a Jell-O mold salad on Easter, and they can be so fun. Or you can have just a carrot salad. I haven't done a video making a carrot salad, but they're very, very tasty. Another one of my favorites of taking the shredded carrots and the pineapple and some raisins. Yes, some raisins. And you put all that together and make a nice meal too. Okay. moving right along here with a layered effect. Now, how I do mine, like I said, is a little different, and let me grab it right quick because it's done. It's done. So I take some milk and put in a saucepan, and I warm it up. I warm it up real nice. Let me get this last potato in the dish here. I just find that it works better that way. You can do cold milk. It's still going to cook in the oven. You know, it's still going to heat up and cook in the oven. Okay, so there's all my potatoes in there with the oven. Now you say, now what is she going to do with this milk? Well, then I take some butter, and I'm generous with my butter. Probably about 1/4 of that of the butter goes into the heated, nice warm milk. Give that a stir a little bit, making sure that the butter gets incorporated in there. I'm going to make sure here. And let me grab one more thing. Okay, after adding the nice, about 1/4 part of your butter, a 1/4 cup of butter in here, to the nice warm milk. Now I'm going to go ahead and add, I'll add it now. I'm going to add a generous amount of salt and a generous amount of pepper into that. Then I'm going to take some flour, and I'm going to start stirring in my flour to thicken up and give me a nice roux that I can put on top. I will also add a little bit more milk, but I like to get this going in the warm, more than warm, not where it's burnt, scalded on the bottom by any means. And this is going to thicken up in your oven when you start, you know, baking this and having it in your oven. So now that's all nice in there, just like that. And then if I want to add just a little bit more milk, which I can, add just a little bit more on top. You can add a little bit more salt and pepper to your taste, really, to your taste on it. I'm going to cover this dish with aluminum foil. I'm going to stick it in my oven at the 350, and because it's a little lower temperature, this is going to cook nice and slow today and get those potatoes where they're nice and soft, and that's what I want. Closer to time, I have often done this with my scalloped potatoes. You don't have to. It's just a little added trick that you can, at the very end, about 10 minutes before you're ready to serve your dinner, is that you can crumble crackers on top. This would be the Toll House crackers, not the saltine. The Toll House crackers on top, and then put it on your broil and get it nice and brown on top, and that's yummy too. So I'm going to pop this in the oven. Get you in a few. Grab my aluminum foil. Now we're on to the meat. Got the potatoes in, the meat and potatoes of the meal. Got the potatoes in the oven, they're cooking. Cake is cooling on the counter. Now we're doing the ham. That's what I'm having today. And again, this is not a spiral ham. This is a smoked, already cooked ham, so it really won't take that long. But I want to jazz it up and get it prepared while my scalloped potatoes are in the oven baking away. So what do you need for that? Well, again, get you some pineapple. These are the slices of the pineapple. I like to take them. And get you some toothpicks. Get you some whole cloves. This one I've had Now, I've had the container, the cloves are fresh because I keep adding them in. Believe it or not, these little cans, now this is by Schilling, they're considered antiques. And right when my son was going to the emergency room for this procedure that he had to have, that he darn near lost his life, I was having lunch with my lady friends, and we had stopped in an antique store, and I didn't even get a shot because I got the phone call and I had to leave right then and there. But they had well, it was a Hoosier cabinet, and I love Hoosier cabinets. If I had room in my house to have one, I certainly would. Maybe I'll make room, I don't know. Anyway, on that, and the lady's going out of business, and she has a bunch of spices in these little metal containers that I'm going to go back and get next week with another lady friend of mine. But anyway, you're going to take the whole cloves, whole cloves. Take a good handful of them and just set down on your counter. But the first thing you need to start with are your pineapple slices. And to have it come out nice is to put some toothpicks in here. It'll look funny when you're baking and doing all that, but you're going to remove all this. Put them down in just enough to make that pineapple. Stick it on the side here and turn it where you can see it. Put your pineapple around like so. And this gives your ham such a nice flavor. It really does. Spiral hams, you can do this on a spiral ham, yes. Now stick your cloves in the pineapple. But spiral hams, usually, they come with their own honey glaze, the brown sugar and honey glaze in a little package. And that's great, it really is. But with this little smoked ham, it's a whole different ball game because now you're creating your own little creation here. We're gonna go back and you're gonna add several of these around. You're gonna go back and you're gonna take some more of those maraschino cherries. And now you're going to stick them right in the middle. And yes, you can put a toothpick to make sure that they stay in there and they hold into the ham, because things kind of fall down when you're cooking and doing. They really do. I'll add one more here, but I am going to cover the whole thing. This isn't a very large ham at all, but again, for 2 people, this is going to work out great. And then I still have ham slices for ham sandwiches, and this, I'm sure, will make 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 2 to 3, maybe even 4 dinners for us. He's not going to be home that long. He stayed so that we could fly in to Denver, Colorado Springs, and for my son, but he's going back to work. Flying clear across the United States, yes. So we are going to spend today together, but he'll be leaving again. Story of my life. Story of my life. Okay, and I think you get the gist of how you just completely do the outside of your ham with the nice pineapple. Gives us such a nice flavor. I just can't stress that enough. The more you add, the better flavor you're going to have. And you could go all the way around your pineapple slices with the whole cloves. It's up to you on that. It really is. Okay? Now that juice that I took from doing the ambrosia salad, I say I don't throw away hardly anything. So I'm going to take that juice now and I'm going to put it on the bottom part here. I'm going to add just a little bit more of the cherry juice in here. And I'll fill it up with just a little bit more water. And again, I'm going to cover this with some aluminum foil and stick it in that oven of 350 degrees along with my scalloped potatoes. be sure to watch your ham. Do a peekaboo, you know, every, probably 20 minutes and see how things are coming along. Because you don't want to dry it out, and yet you do want your ham cooked about 140 on a meat thermometer to get your ham nice and done inside. But I don't have to worry about that too much with this one because it's already cooked. All I'm really doing is heating and making this part of it get into the ham, the flavoring, and that's what I'm after. I'll be back for my vegetable now. Are you still with me? I hope so. Okay, now we're going to have the vegetable part. And usually I do either peas and carrots, frozen peas and carrots, or I don't know, beans or whatever with my ham. But I'm going to do the glazed carrots today. Another very, very simple little deal. So I got some nice big carrots at the store just the other day, and I especially picked them out because they were large in size, which I'm going to go with several here because these I can eat quite a few. So simple. You're going to peel the carrot, and then these things that I show are not for the people that have been like me cooking for years, because you already know how to do it. Or maybe you're just watching because you're saying, well, how does Diane do it? You know, maybe I saw her add an ingredient that I've never put in my recipe, and that looked kind of good. So that's kind of what it's all about, is to watch somebody else make something, or if you're just starting out, if you're young, and maybe you didn't learn this growing up and you came to my house for an Easter dinner or whatever, or you had it at somebody else's house and you say, oh, those were good. How do you do that? But again, my meals are simplified. I don't go into the gourmet cooking. I don't do a lot of fried foods every once in a while, but I have to kind of stay clear of the fried foods. And so I try to make recipes that are simple to make, hardly any ingredients, and yet the simple ones have the best flavor. They really do. They really do. Okay, so here's some of my little carrots here. So what did I take? 3, 4, 5 carrots. You can add as many as you want. Again, it's just 2 people eating. I could fill up my whole pan with these because I really like them. I really do. But you do have to get the outer skin off. So once that is off and done, then what I like to do, and you can put them in any pan you want to. I just put mine in a smaller skillet. I cut it on a diagonal cut right down the middle here. And then I'm just going to do slices like this. Throw them in your pan right over here. Place them. Don't throw them. Place them. My older sister was here cooking with me. She'd say, what? You're going to throw them in the pan? Yeah. Yeah. The best shows to watch, the best cook around that was years ago was Julia Childs. And it was her accent, how she talked, and how she did kind of throw things around in the kitchen that made it fun to watch her. Now, I don't do a lot of that, of throwing around, but I do some crazy things, don't I? Drop things on the floor. Usually have my puppy dogs making a lot of racket. They're not making a racket because I have someone here today controlling the animals. They really are good little guys. They really are. My little Daisy May is 2 years old, and she's at an age now where she's completely settled down in her personality. Not that wild puppy anymore. Cocoa Bean still has some activity in him. He really does. But he's a sweetheart. He really is. I call him my goofball most of the time. Took a picture of him the other day. He was on the couch, and he was underneath the pillows and, you know, doing his little thing. He wasn't hiding a bone or anything. He was just messing up my couch pillows. And because he's the long hair dachshund, he's got a lot of hair on his little ears. And so when he did this on my couch of the cushions, then he had static cling. And it was a cute, cute picture because it almost looked like he, you stuck him in a light switch of electricity because it was all coming out in every direction. Cute as a bug, he really was. Okay, so this is fine for 2 people, really. About 5 little carrots, cut up like this. Add some water to your pan, just enough to kind of coat it. Put a lid on the pan. Whoops, wrong lid. I always get the wrong lid. Anyway, put a lid on the pan. See? Crazy video. And then cook this just until these are tender. Not mushy, but just kind of tender. Maybe about 10 minutes, something like that. And then I will bring them out to show you what I am going to add as far as the glaze part that makes them so yummy. But I'm on to icing my cake now and showing how I'm going to decorate my cake while the scalloped potatoes are in the oven baking away, and while my ham is in there baking. I've got to get this cake prepared. Easy peasy. Be right back. All right, now we're on to putting the cake together. So simple. So get you out any kind of a cake plate, one that's got a pedestal on it, whatever. I found this one just the other day. So I picked it up and I thought, this is gonna work. This is what I want. And we'll go ahead. Here is one of the cakes here. Here they both are. They're all done. And pretty simple on this. So the reason why you put the spray and the flour in there so that they'll come out real easy. Take your paper off, your parchment paper, and there is your cake. Ready to go. With no hassle, no fuss. I always take a cake tester, when it comes out of the oven, and poke it down there. If it comes out clean or a sharp knife, your cake is done, okay? So what do we want for the frosting? Again, we're going to use the basic one, which is taking Philadelphia cream cheese, which is an 8-ounce little box of it. Put it in your mixer. You're changing your beater blade on your mixer to a whip now instead of just your blade that you had earlier. And we're going to put in 1 stick of butter. One stick of butter. Right in here. Nice soft butter, which mine usually is, that I've left it out. Usually. Then I'm going to add a good teaspoon of my lemon extract in here because I want it to taste like lemon. I'm gonna put that in here. If you don't have the lemon extract, just use some vanilla extract. Will be just fine. Just fine. And then I'm gonna whip this up while I grab my lemon juice that I just put back in the refrigerator, and I don't know why, but I did. I was cleaning up. What can I say? So we'll be right back. Okay, I grabbed another bowl. I let this mix very well because I wanted the cream cheese and the butter to blend and get really, really well in there. I'm going to put it on low now, and I'm going to add a couple of drops of yellow food coloring. Not very much, but I wanted just a hint of yellow today. I'm also going to add a little bit of lemon juice. That's what I had to go in the refrigerator and get. Probably about a teaspoonful. And that'll help make that. Scrape the sides of the bowl so that I get all of the yellow coloring mixed in. chunk right in there that really does need to get mixed in there. Mix, mix, mix. Okay, and now we're going to take a good 4 to 5 cups of powdered sugar, because this is what makes the frosting. The cream cheese and the butter makes it where it's thicker, but your powdered sugar is your frosting, it really is. And I'm actually just going to go ahead with the full 5 cups. I need a lot of frosting today. I really do. Okay, that takes care of that. And when you're in doubt, go ahead and add some more of the lemon juice if it starts to get just a little bit thick. I'm not piping this on with any piping bag or anything. We just want to get this all mixed up. Just a little bit more, just to get it started here. It's gonna be a yummy cake. It's gonna be yummy. With a great, nice lemon flavor. Of course, that powdered sugar sometimes goes everywhere. All right. I clean as I go. That's what I want. I'm going to scrape the bottom of the pan here, or the sides of the bowl, I mean. I can smell my ham in the oven. It smells so good. It's going to be a good little dinner. It really is. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit more of my powdered sugar. And again, doesn't hurt to add more of the powdered sugar. So we'll go almost another cupful. I want mine just a little bit thicker, just a little bit. If you get carried away like I did on the lemon juice, don't worry about it. Add some more powdered sugar. It'll come out. You just want it spreadable. Always scrape the sides of your bowl to get everything, because you don't want the marbled effect of, you know, something that didn't get mixed up. I think, go to test it. I mean, you've got to see if it's any good. Oh my gosh, that is so good. That is lemony and good. I'm gonna like that. Yes, I am. Get it off the stand here. I'll set this down here. Out of my way. Out, out, out of my way. Yeah, I've been real tempted to get me another mix. It's not that I don't like KitchenAid by any means. It's just got another one I've got up my eye on that I'd like to try. Doesn't hurt to have another mixer in the house. It really doesn't. And this comes out a nice buttercup to chiffon color. Look at that. I like that. Yes, I do. Take a generous amount and put in the middle. And I really did want just a pastel color of the icing. I really did. I didn't want to go overboard with the icing of having it dark. Sometimes at Easter, you just want those pastel colors. My ladies, by the way, my last video that I got on kind of late, but I didn't want them to see, of my sugar eggs. I delivered that to them at our luncheon. And I think they liked them, I do. I think they liked it. I got a thank you from every single one of them when I got home. And, okay, so that's that part. Now we're gonna grab the top part of the cake here. Again, just turn it over. Might have to tap it once or twice. Take the paper off. Oh, this smells so good. Really smells good. Push it down on there and begin to ice your cake. Frosting off the side of the bowl here. I can ice my cake. I've always started at the top of the cake. I always want to make sure that I have enough that it did cover the top of the cake way before I ever do the sides, but it's up to you. There's plenty of frosting here. It's up to you. And then you're just going to go along the sides and ice your cake. So I'm showing you a full dinner on this video, start to finish. First making the cake, getting it out of the way, and then starting with the scalloped potatoes, because they do have to cook a little while. I got my ham in, and my carrots are cooking on the stove, getting all nice and soft. They'll be fine. Simple little glazing to that. They'll be yummy. If I was having company, you know that I would be putting out a lot more food of different things, hors d'oeuvres to all kinds of things. But you know, sometimes, like I said, just the simplest of meals is great. Now, when I grew up, Sunday dinner, whether it was at my grandparents' house, which a lot of times we went over there for a Sunday dinner, and it was simple too. There was always a nice dessert, always. And whether they fixed pork chops, usually a nice pot roast on a Sunday dinner. And I said, if you don't like ham, you can have a nice roast. People have prime rib on Easter. You don't always have to have the ham. But it's what they call more of a traditional dinner to have the ham on Easter. All right, I'm getting there. I'm getting there with my little cake. Yes, I am. I just kind of want to make sure the icing is all around. Now, if I wanted to do, I thought about it, and I have the stuff sitting right here. If you want to do the speckled, like I did my robin egg cake, which is on my website, you'll see it, it's blue. And I speckled it. It's got a bird nest in the middle. I speckled that. That's not hard to do at all. And I'll probably show that next. Just want to make sure I got everything all covered here. Okay. There's the pretty cake. Now, to do the speckled, if you want to do, to make it look kind of like it's the robin's egg, because I am putting eggs on top of this. So just take out some cocoa powder. You won't need a whole lot. So, you know, a good teaspoon, tablespoon of cocoa powder. Then you're going to take some vanilla extract. And you just want enough in here to make it liquid now. Stir it around. Get that powdered sugar all stirred around. You can also use just water. I don't have my water right here. Let's try a little bit of this lemon extract in it too. A little bit more, because you want it more of a liquid. Pretty good. We'll go with that and see. We'll see what that does. Clean up my mess. Okay, so then you would take a toothbrush, baker's brush of any kind, dip it in, and the idea is to flick it. So because it's just my counter, I'm just going to try on my counter and see how I like this one. It's not too bad. Okay, so then you just flick it onto the cake in the areas that you want. And again, because my cake is real pastel in color, this is kind of pretty. I'm going to add just a little bit of water to this right quick. I should have brought that over, and I do apologize. But the more liquidy, there we go. There we go. The more liquid, really want it to be like you could drink it. And again, just kind of start it where you want and flick it on your cake. You can always clean up your tray part when you're done, so don't worry about that. Oh yeah, it's kind of pretty. Some more on here. Just go around. Don't worry about that tray. I'm going to be cleaning that up. I like to work with, and I do this with my watercolors. When I paint, I take a toothbrush. Most of the time, I take a toothbrush. Add a little bit of the brush on it there. A little bit more color right here. Okay, that's about all I need on that. Really, that's about all I need on that. Now, wasn't that easy? Yeah, pretty easy. Pretty easy. Always wear an apron when you're doing this. Always wear an apron. And then go back real fast and clean up your tray as far as your platter here of the leftover. Get it off. Okay, next thing I'm going to add to my cake, and you'll see this more in a close-up picture that I'm doing. So now I've got some coconut. And how I was taught to do this was to take a Ziploc bag right here. Forgot where my supplies were. Now I've already opened this coconut, used not even half of it, on the ambrosia salad. So I'm going to take the rest of this half. And I might need a little bit more. I have another bag here. So I'm going to take it now. And actually, that's a little bit much. A little bit too much here. We'll just take some of it out here. All right. And now I'm going to add a few drops of green food coloring into the bag. Into the bag here. Zip it up. And now give it a toss. You see what it does to the coconut? It's coloring the coconut. How easy is that? Color your coconut. And I like to dump mine out into a bowl. Take it a little bit more. Make sure that your coconut's all broken up. There aren't any big pieces to it. And what I am going to do is I'm going to start at the, I'm going to just go around this way. I'm going to start here and put it around my cake up here. I am going to add it around the bottom. That's why I said don't worry too much about your platter having the little splatters, because it'll all get covered up. It really will. Now, because I wanted to go very simple this year, I could have added the chocolate bunny on top. You know, I could have done a lot of different areas, but I'm not going to do that this year. What I am going to do, so this is the grass. So then I'm going to take, my husband got into my candy, he really did, of the bigger, these are the malted balls, but that's all right. We're going to stick the malted balls up here. Great big blue one, I like it. Let's stick that up. Stick these in. And if you wanted to do the smaller, as far as these, you certainly can have little ones in here. And folks, that's about all you need on a cake, really. If you get too carried away, then you have to take all the decorations off the top. And that's okay too. But you know what? This is simple, fun to do. Do it with your grandkids. They love to do all this. And when you're shaking that grass of coloring it, oh my gosh, they're going to think that's just better than peanut butter. It really is. So that's my Easter cake this year, is the lemon cake that's got so much lemon flavor. I just want to dive right into it right now. But I'll be back to do the carrots and then show you the final product and then show you my table at the very end. But I do want to wish everyone a happy Easter, and this really is from my kitchen to yours. Stay happy, stay well, and go enjoy yourself. Hoppity hop along in life and enjoy. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. I had to pop back on for just a few minutes at the tail end, even though I know I said goodbye to you and wished you well on your happy Easter and all that, but I did want to say that dinner was superb. I know I didn't show the glazed carrots how to do it, but they're so simple. I mean, I took them out of the skillet pan. I drained off the water. They were nice and soft. You add, I don't know, probably about 1/4 of the cup of butter in the pan. Add about 1/4 cup, maybe a little bit more, maybe even 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Stir all that around and, you know, place it back on the burner just a little bit to have it get nice and hot again and glazed. And between that, my nice ham that I kept basting with the juices in the bottom of the pan, it was just so tasty. It really was. I've shown pictures of the final product, even sitting down here at the table and having it on our plate. Just the two of us, a simple Easter dinner, but oh, so good. So I saved the best for last, and that's my lemon cake, of which I'm going to cut a slice right now. Just can't wait any longer on this. I mean, come on. Just need to see about this. On my cute little spring plates set that I got. Oh yeah. Now look at there. How festive and nice is that gonna be? So let me take a quick bite to let you know how I liked my homemade, not store-bought, not a box from the grocery store, but you saw me in person making this cake with all of the ingredients. It's really not that hard to do. And I'm not just telling you that. The frosting is so good because of the lemon extract. So tasty and good. I have really enjoyed doing these videos. I really have, and I hope you get a big kick out of them too, of everything that I cook or don't cook, or like I said, drop or forget, or can't remember, a spatula or some pan or bowl. But I finally get it all together and I put it out and I put it on the table, and that's this year's Easter. It's at the tail end of my video, and I'm still awful proud of something that I showed you in one of the other ones, that I finally got my first novel done, and that was Crossroads, 540 pages. Crossroads, it's a good read, it really is. And then I got my second novel all published and done, and that's Chicken Scratches. And it's not about chickens. This is a whodunit story, mystery involved, hidden things, and I think husband likes this book even better than the first book. So while I'm sitting here eating my cake, I'm going to read a few of my own little chapters that I have done, and I hope you do too. You'll find it on Amazon. Just type in my name or type in the title and you'll come up with it. Either one of the books. Either one. They're big books. They really are. So again, from my kitchen to yours, happy Easter. I'll catch you next time. You never know what I'm going to make, do you? Have a nice one. Bye-bye now.